The average Shopify store has 14 apps installed. Most of them are hurting the store, and the owner is paying for the privilege. I build Shopify apps for a living. I've been inside hundreds of stores, and I keep seeing the same 5 mistakes quietly destroying conversions. Mistakes the Shopify App Store won't flag, and most best Shopify app videos won't tell you about, because those videos have a different job. They're paid to recommend apps, and I'm not. Here's what this is actually costing you. A 1-second delay in load time drops Shopify conversions by around 7%. Most stores I audit have 3 to 5 seconds of avoidable slowdown, all of it from apps. That's not a minor issue. On a store doing even modest revenue, that's thousands of dollars in lost sales every month. And Shopify doesn't tell you. So before you install one more app, I'm going to show you the 5 things happening inside your store that nobody's talking about. Then I'll give you a 5-question checklist to run every future app through, so this stops happening to you for good. Don't install another Shopify app until you've watched this whole video. Let's start with the things you can't see, because most of what apps do to your store is actually invisible, and it's the invisible stuff that hurts the most. So there are 2 versions of this. First one is ghost code. A lot of Shopify apps don't just run in the background. They inject code directly into your theme files. Scripts, liquid snippets, tracking pixels. When you uninstall the app, Shopify removes it from your admin and billing stops, but the code the app wrote into your theme, that kind of stays. Shopify doesn't clean it up. The developer doesn't either. It just sits there, orphaned, running on every page load, calling out to servers that might not even respond anymore, and slowing down your site. I've opened theme files for clients and found leftover code from apps they uninstalled 2 years ago. Review widgets that don't work, countdown timers pointing at dead endpoints. All of it's still loading, all of it's still slowing the store down. The second version is conflicts. Your active apps don't live in isolation. 2 of them try to modify the cart. One injects a pop-up at checkout, another rewrites the product form. They're all running on the same customer's browser at once, and nobody designed them to work together. What you get is JavaScript errors firing in the background, broken add to cart buttons, misfiring upsells, checkout quietly failing on mobile, and Shopify does not email you when your storefront throws errors. You just lose the sale and blame the ads or the copy or a slow season. And here's how you can check both of these things in about 2 minutes. Open your store in Chrome and then right-click, hit inspect, click the console tab. Now click through like a customer, home, collection, product, cart. Every red line that you see in that console is a live error. Then open your theme code and look for script tags referencing apps you don't recognize. If you're not comfortable going through your code, then that's why I created the app called Theme Lens, which will scan through your theme and pick up any phantom app code that's left over from apps that you uninstalled or that apps that you're using right now. Shopify doesn't show you when your store is broken. Your console does. So go look at that. Be interesting what you find. That's the damage side. Now let's talk about the bill, because when most merchants finally add it up, they don't believe the number. You can ask any merchant how much they spend on Shopify apps per month. Most of them will give you a number that's off by like 2 or 3 times the amount. Not because they're lying, because they've never actually counted. App pricing is designed to feel small in isolation. $9 here, $29 there, $14, $19. Each one lands as a separate charge from a dozen different developers. No single line looks alarming, so you never flinch every single time you kind of hit subscribe, right? But stack them. A typical store I audit is running like 10 to 14 apps. Average subscription lands around $20. So that's $200 to $280 a month, over $3,000 a year just in apps. And that's before usage billing, email apps and SMS. They charge you per send, and that can double your bill in a busy month without warning. Now here's where it gets worse. Most merchants aren't just paying for 10 apps. They're paying for 10 apps where 2 or 3 are doing the exact same job. You uninstalled an upsell app in January A newer one went viral in June. You installed that too, meant to uninstall the old one, forgot. In November, you added a post-purchase offer app, which also does upsells. Now, 3 apps are kind of fighting for the same real estate, all charging you monthly. And they're all throwing errors in the console log like I showed you before. So this audit takes like 10 minutes. You just got to go into your settings, billing, and pull up your last 3 months of app charges, add every recurring line and multiply by 12. And that's your annual app bill. Then open your app list, and for every app, ask yourself one question. What is this app's one job? And do I have another app doing that same job? You got to be specific. Don't say marketing. You got to say collecting emails from the pop-up. Then you'll find like the overlap in what the apps do in minutes. I've had clients cut their app spend by 60% in an afternoon doing exactly this process. So no one adds up all those app costs. That's the whole business model of apps. Now, before we go further, I need to explain why you probably get steered towards half these apps in the first place. This is the part the top 10 Shopify apps videos really don't want you to know. Most of the Shopify app recommendations you'll ever see online were not really written to help you. They were written to earn a commission. So you better be careful when you're watching videos on YouTube. And here's how the affiliate system works. Most major Shopify apps, they run an affiliate program. And when a creator recommends the app through a video, a viewer installs it through the link, the creator earns a cut. And often 20 to 30% of that fee goes to that YouTube creator. And that's for the lifetime of the subscription. That's recurring revenue every month for years. Now put yourself in the creator's shoes, right? You're making a best Shopify review apps video. 2 apps are roughly equal in quality, but one pays 30% and the other one pays nothing. So which one gets the top spot? You already know the answer. This isn't a conspiracy, it's incentives. And the incentive isn't aligned with you. It's aligned with recommending whatever pays the creator the most for the longest, whether or not it's the right app for your store. The tell is in the language. Watch for the number 1 app we recommend. Without any real comparison. You should watch out for the reviews that only list pros, no cons. Watch for the exact same 5 apps showing up across completely different creators' videos, because those are the 5 running the most aggressive affiliate programs. So here's how to flip that. Before you install any recommended app, open the Shopify App Store and read the 1-star reviews, specifically the 1-star reviews. That's where you find the merchants who've actually used the app in production and hit the walls that the affiliate videos skip. Billing issues, support ghosting, performance problems. If the same complaint shows up 5 times at least, assume it'll show up on your store too. When someone gets paid every month that you keep an app installed, then their review isn't actually a review. It's basically a sales pitch, but with a timer on it. And that sales pitch is especially expensive right now because a lot of the most recommended apps solve problems Shopify started solving for you 2 years ago for free. So Shopify has been quietly shipping features that used to require an app. Most merchants actually have no idea. They're still paying for apps they don't need. A few specific examples here. Every one of these is a feature I've seen merchants pay for that's already built into Shopify. The first one is the most popular one, email capturing and basic email marketing. There are apps charging $20 a month just to collect emails. And Shopify email is actually native, free for your first 10,000 email sends a month. Basic lists, basic flows. It's all in your admin already. And bundles is the next one. Bundle apps charge $30 to $50 a month. And Shopify launched Shopify Bundles as a free native app. For a lot of stores, that app is going to be enough. B2B is another one as well. This used to be a Shopify Plus feature, but Shopify recently added B2B to every plan. Wholesale pricing, custom catalogs, company profiles. And if you're paying a B2B app $200 a month, you should check out if Shopify's native integration can actually solve that B2B problem for you. The pattern is simple. Shopify keeps pulling features out of the app ecosystem and making them native. But your app stack doesn't update itself. You installed that email app like 2 years ago. You've been paying for it ever since. Nobody emails you to say, hey, Shopify does this natively now. You can cancel us. So before you renew another app subscription, you should go through your list and ask, does Shopify do this now? Half the time, the answer is going to be yes. If Shopify built it into the platform, you're not paying for a feature, you're paying for habit. Last one on the list, and this one actually costs you more than your subscription and your habit spend combined, because this one hits every single visitor who lands on your store. Every Shopify app adds JavaScript to your storefront. Most merchants have no idea what their load time actually looks like, or how much of it is app code running on every page, every visit. Here's the math. A typical Shopify app adds 0.3 to 0.8 seconds of load time, sometimes more. Half a second by itself sounds like nothing, but apps don't live alone. Install 10 apps and you've compounded those extra seconds. You're looking at 3 to 8 seconds of extra load before your product image even appears. Remember that stat from the intro? A 1 second delay drops conversions by around 7%. Run that on a 3-second delay. That's not a rounding error. That's a chunk of revenue walking out the door because your store took too long to show up. And here's the part that really gets me. These apps load on every page. Your review app doesn't need to load on the checkout. Your upsell app doesn't need to load on the contact page. Most apps don't care. They inject themselves globally and let the browser sort it out. The fix starts with knowing where you stand. Go to Page Speed Insights, plug in your store URL, run it on mobile. If you're under 50, there's a serious problem. Under 30, you're bleeding. Then look at the reduced unused JavaScript section. That's Google literally telling you which scripts are loading that your page doesn't need. On most stores, a huge chunk of that is app code. This is exactly the problem I built ThemeLens for. It scans your store, breaks down which apps are dragging speed down the most. It shows you what to do about it, script by script. The link for that is in the description if you want to run your store through that. Every app you install is a tax on every visitor. Most merchants are paying that tax without realizing that they're being charged. So those are the 5 things nobody's telling you. That's the expose. Now, here's the part that changes how you run your store from tomorrow. A simple checklist you run every future app through before you click install. Save this, screenshot it, pin it to your monitor, because the next time a guru, an ad, or a forum post tells you to install an app, these are the 5 questions you run it through first. Question number 1. Does Shopify do this natively for free? Check the admin. Google Shopify native plus the feature. If Shopify ships it, use that. It will be free, faster, and you won't need to clean up any ghost code later on. And question 2, will this add JavaScript to my storefront? Almost every app will. The real question is how much? Search the app name plus slow on Reddit. If merchants are complaining, you can assume you'll see the same thing. And question 3 is, do I already have an app doing this job? You should open your app list before you install anything new. If there's any overlap, then you're either replacing or duplicating. You need to decide which one. Question 4, you need to ask yourself, does the person recommending this app have an affiliate link? Check the description, the pinned comment, the link structure. If it is an affiliate link, the recommendation is a commission. Doesn't mean the app is bad, but the opinion isn't 100% clean. Question 5 is, have I checked the speed impact on a store? Duplicate your theme, install the app on the duplicate. Run page speed before and after. If it adds more than half a second, it needs to be earning its keep in a very obvious way. So run every app through these 5. If it fails 2 or more, then don't install it. Apps aren't free. They're taxes on your store. You need to tax yourself carefully. Here's what I want you to do right now. Open Shopify admin, click apps, count them, drop the number in the comments. If you're over 10, I'll reply and tell you which categories tend to be the worst offenders on a store your size. And if you know another Shopify merchant, send them this video before they install one more app that they don't need. Now, even after you audit your apps, there's one more thing quietly killing most Shopify stores that has nothing to do with apps at all. It's actually the images. specifically how 99% of merchants upload them. I broke down every part of it in my last video. Watch that one next. The link should be on the screen somewhere. See you in the next video.